Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So yesterday we were dissecting the whole university funding model, HELB or HEF, which is better. Uncle Jenzi,
Yes.
ulikuwa unatueleza kitu gani?
Yeah, yesterday we were talking about HELB and the HELB and HEF, and I was trying to say that if HELB is better than HEF, but also if these people could have just improved the HELB, it could have been better than introducing another system, which is HEF. And also I said that the idea of saying that HEF will minimize debts after the campus education, I guess it's wrong, because the rate is the same. It is 2% to 4% per annum. But if you consider the amount of money that these students are given, and the amount of money that they will be able to pay after their education, definitely, if they won't be able to secure a job in the market of the career that they did in the 4 years or 6 years, we'll still have the debts. We'll still have the same challenge that we had with the HELB. So on that point of saying that HEF will minimize the debt, it's I'm against it.
Doesn't add up.
Doesn't add up even at all, and it cannot add up. So for me, that one wasn't a point to be considered. Yeah.
So if you look at the next expected improvement on the new higher education funding model, we have improved loan recovery and sustainability, where we get to see that this new model incorporates more robust mechanisms for loan recovery, including partnership with employers and agencies to track graduates and ensure timely loan repayment. So, in accordance to how these people are saying, that this change aims to address the sustainability issues faced by HELB.
So it means that most of the students who are under HELB and they managed to finish school, some didn't manage to pay the money because there is no that track between the employer and the employee, is between the student and the one who employed the student. So the government doesn't have any clear record on the amount that the kid gets after school. Let's say the amount that the student gets after securing a job in the market. And also we may ask ourselves, why is it that in Kenya you can do a black job market whereby you sell things yet the government doesn't know whether you are selling? It is because still the systems are poor. There is no clarity. And if there is a clarity somewhere, then it means like these people will come for you. So definitely, that's why Kenyans love to do things behind the curtains, because the systems of the country, they don't embrace development. They discourage development. Whereby if it is tax, now everyone is crying because of taxation. Whereby taxation is high in a way that even you sahi hata ufungue job huwezi taka kuregister na jina yako, hata huwezi taka kuregister na account zako, not because you are a criminal, but because if these people will come for you, they won't come for you to have a negotiation, but they are coming to showcase you. It's like you are working for the tax, of which that one should not work. And if they are saying they will manage to track the student after finishing the education, definitely still they will have a challenge, because so far the system has failed. Haiku manage ku place people kwa bands zenye zilikuwa zinahitajika, the right bands. Some even didn't join university because of the problems here and there. Imagine being a needy student at band 4 instead of band 1. You see, you wonder, where am I going to secure another 100,000 to support my education? And this is 100,000 that are needed in every year. And you wonder, then how are they going to track us if they don't have job opportunities? If today I've done pilots as my career and I really know that I can secure a job without tribal thing in this companies that are supposed to employ me as a pilot, the private companies and also the public companies. Then definitely them taking them ni wakikata the amount of money that they need me to pay in their knee in return of what they have offered for me for my education, there is no problem. That is something that even we should sit down and agree. Because don't expect for me to be paid 60,000, yet they are taking 20,000. That is another thing that we should also consider. What which percentage are they going to pick from my salary? Whereby if I might get 100,000 per month, but how much am I going to pay them back? Because they should not be like, give us that money, we support other students. No, they should not rely on what you are going to pay for them to support the upcoming generation. They should have still funds that will sustain the system, rather than depending on the people who are paying the loans. Because if they will depend on the people who are paying back the loans, then definitely they will have challenge on supporting other generations. So for me to conclude on that point, if they will be able to track, let them create employment. That's what I can say. Tracking is not a problem, but create employment and also consider, are you building or you want us to be slaves
basically
of the system? You know, one man said, if you want to, if you and I always think and rethink about this statement, whereby he said, study hard, go to the institutions, and definitely will become the slave of government. And I was thinking, what did he meant by saying you will become the slave? And I noticed that most of the people who went to university, passed with high levels, work as a civil servants for the government. They end up becoming civil servants, whereby it is an exchange of petty things, penny salary and services, of which there is no any agreement. It's because I grew up from a poor background, then I've secured a job whereby I can be able, I'm working for 100,000, but I'm able to put only 20,000 in my pocket. And you wonder, why am I not developing? Because of the system. But the system should not be there to stop us from growing. It should be there to support us. Whereby even most of the loans, the students who took this loan since 1995, most of them are jobless. So meaning they haven't managed to pay the loans. The loans, or maybe they are working with pikipiki, boda, and they earn, but they cannot pay the loan. So tracking is one of the best thing to return. But can you track if I'm doing the job that I went to study? That's the key fact. Because you cannot tell me I'm going to sell mboga, nipate my 10,000, then mi nilifanya kitu kama actuarial science, nauza mboga, then unataka nilipe hii loan. Because mi sioni faida yake. But if you can create a job for me, I get in that one. If you can create a job for me whereby I'm able to exercise what I learned in the 4 years
of the education
of my education, then definitely you tracking me is not a problem. But if you'll track me and I'm selling mboga, tena kuzitafuta, tena kanjo,
there's a lot of suppression basically financially for you to start considering repayment
of
in
HELB,
accordance to how they
try to tell you to do. So for me, in that point, it's a nice point, but it needs first to understand why do we need to track them. You know, developed countries, they also even track where you stay. They have every details about you, of which is something that works well and keeps the developed country intact.
The system going.
Between the citizens, the government, and the system, whereby the government is able to understand the loopholes of the systems and approve them for the benefit of what? Of
their citizens, basically.
Their citizens.
Okay.
But here in Kenya, totally different.
Okay, that's a good point you've raised. Though with the interest of time, we'd like to move on. And also we have another point here where they are trying, where the higher education funding wants to curb the inclusion of private universities and TVET institutes. So we find that this new funding model provides funding to a wider range of institutions, including private universities and TVET institutions, which were not fully covered under HELB. So this expansion aligns with Kenya's goal to develop a skilled workforce across all sectors. So what's your take on it?
It is a good thing and something that I can support. And in fact, that's what made me like give a clap to the HEF, because if they will give an opportunity for a student to join any institution, provided the government will pay the money, then is a go ahead, because most of the private universities are doing well, and you cannot limit them, or you can't limit the students who qualify, because poverty is something awkward, whereby the government says if you get a C+ now, it will pay for you, so you will study hard to get the C+. But definitely will go to these public university which infrastructure is still not
up to speed, basically.
So you joining a private university and still the government is paying. It is quite classic, quite beautiful, but still the government should understand this. If they will fail to improve the infrastructure within these public institutions, universities, definitely the private universities will prevail, will stand and shine, and the public university still remain the same, and maybe the number of students that join the public university will reduce, because definitely we are taking another wave of life, whereby the beauty, the enjoyment of study is what propels your desire to do a certain career, not the passion that your parents have for you to do such a career. It is you feeling that I want to join Egerton University, I want to join Pioneer, I want to join Maseno, and I'm going to apply to Maseno. I want to join either Zesta, Z-Tech, whichever, and that's my passion, and I want to do teaching, or I want to do things to deal with medicine. Now the environment should be conducive to make you feel that I'm worthy to do this course here. There are some courses, if you are called to do them at Nairobi University, you are happy. If some you are called to do them at Egerton, you are not happy. If some you are called to do at KCA, you are happy. If some you are told to do them at Maseno, you are not happy. If some you are told to do at Daystar, you are happy. Because even the environment allows you to do such courses. But if now the private sector, that is the private institutions, will improve not only the way they offer the education, that is modernized their systems, the ways digitalize, instead of using filter pens, they digitalize to use projectors, digitalize to make that the environment is conducive. Definitely, wherever there is that a synthetic value, majority go for it. But if universities that are public will remain like withhold any infrastructures, squeezy, even nowadays we should do away with the chuma beds in universities, and this fact of sleeping 6 people in a room, you should do away with it. in terms, in advance, because CBC will not allow that. CBC is more of your capabilities. But you see, they will still wait until that time whereby now they will consider to improve the public institution. Yet now, there is a university, a private university, that already has a plan to make sure that all those hostels are beautiful. They are appealing. They have studying sites, not a table and a chair, a classic studying site, and a very beautiful thing. So if the government will manage to pay 100,000 for a student, definitely a parent who is capable again to pay around 60,000 above will be able to take his or her students to private sector. But if a parent is not capable to pay above 100, he will take his or her student to the public what? University. Still the public will remain for the poor and the private for the rich.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a very interesting pointer here. I'm going to read it out. So there's a one of the things that they want to work on is streamlining the processes for disbursement. And what they're basically trying to do is that the HEF model is designed to reduce bureaucratic delays for by digitalizing and streamlining applications and disbursement process, ensuring timely support for students when they need it most. And that is a very interesting point, because as much as they want to improve it, kwa ground we are seeing something totally different.
Exactly, because saisi kuna watoto bado hata hawajapata the launch and they are still surviving.
Yeah.
And month is over now. Most of the universities December they are doing the exams, and some January are doing the exams. But you see they have extended down to the 31st of December for you to apply. Like even last month, if it were not for the students to cause just a complication, a conflict somewhere, they could have wange manage could disband some of the branches, wange still hold. And you wonder, why is it that the system failed? And that's why we are here today, to at least to assist these people on how they could modify this system, at least to make it serve people well. So let's continue. The vitu ni different kwa ground. Na watahangaika even, but our wish is not like after the 31st December, still we have the same problem next year with the first year students, whereby some of the students needy will be given wrong bands, and some of them nani inaenda opposite. The one who deserve the HELB wanaekwa band 4, the one who don't deserve it wanaekwa band 1.
Yeah.
That is something that me as a Kenyan says is support, and I don't love it, and I don't feel like it is something that should also continue happening. And they are trying to tell us, we know we had a problem with system allocating these kids. What is the work of a system? You make sure before you create these systems, it has been tested before you give the system to the, the problem, before you offer the system to the citizen, you must test it.
Yeah.
So the problem with our government is whereby they use us as the testers, Kabia testers, whereby they need now to we are like a catalyst, whereby they bring things, then the reaction. Again, the reaction inafanya sasa hiyo kitu sasa iive, because the heat is high, but doesn't make sense. So have we finished the points?
Maybe the last point, which is also another interesting point, basically, is that they want to give the support for employability and skill development.
How?
So the Higher Education Fund incorporates provisions for skill building programs and internships to improve employability. So by supporting students in gaining work experience, Higher Education Fund aims to enhance graduates' chances of securing employment, ultimately improving loan repayment rates.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. It cannot make sense at all because the system hatuoni mali inaweza make ni employment, inaweza create employment. Hakuna. Still we are the people to go on the ground and try to create employment for the students, not the system. The system offers support to the students to learn, to get the skills. Plus, what kind of the skills that it support? How many people have finished education and are still jobless?
That is very true. That's very true.
So does it mean HELB ndo ilikuwa inakoswa kwa jobless? Or sasa because now we have HEF. So does it mean now HEF, once I've finished, now the HEF will give me an opportunity to secure a job in the market? So that point doesn't make sense at all to me. And I guess that some things should be done. But let us stop lying to Kenyans because we feel like what we write is what we consume. We as a generation, we understand everything. And our ability to do things is what makes us become genius, not the way you offer us services. Because at sometimes I may check my input on something and give my worth, try to consider my worthy, and I decide to do it for free rather than being paid. So it's all about ambition, but trying to tell us that HELB, higher education funding system, will create jobs, it's a lie. It is a very the system HEF cannot create jobs. It's a lie. We have to sit down and try to create what? Jobs. And that's why Uncle Gen Z shows from today, from tomorrow, and henceforth, we'll all be talking about ministries and how we can create jobs under those ministries. And we are not doing this to showcase how capable we are, but it is to showcase my fellow Gen Zs that we need to unite. We need to stand together and try to create jobs in our nation and try to think together. If an idea is brought on the table, what are the possible things that we can do with the idea? And do you have another point?
No, actually there's a conclusion here I want you to either agree or disagree. So they are saying the shift from HELB to HEF reflects on efforts to make higher education funding in Kenya more equitable, efficient and sustainable. So by focusing on needs-based funding, increasing grants and expanding coverage, the higher education funding model seeks to address the long-standing challenges that hindered HELB's effectiveness and ensures that Kenyan students, particularly those from disadvantaged backgrounds, can access and complete their education without being burdened by excessive debts.
50%, 50%. Agree, 50% disagree, because already the system has failed us in the second trial. The first trial was 2023 kids. Now the 2024 kids have already experienced the same case. You wonder, say it is 2 years old. You wonder if if now it wasn't for Gen Z, still they could have just shut down. They could have not even considered what are the challenges. But I also take this opportunity to thank our media houses within our country. They go there on ground. They try to bring the affected people. They give their suggestions, and those are nice thing that they do, because at least it showcased that people are suffering, even if they need to be to secure a loan in the funding models, public funding models. And 50%, let me start with the 50% agreement. It just tried because now the TVET students are able now to apply for and be supported to take skills. But the point of efficiency isn't working. There's a lot that they should do with it. And this is what, for me, I would suggest the Ministry of HELB, which is current higher education funding model, should do. They experience a challenge on grouping the students in terms of their needy. And there are so many systems that they have introduced in these education systems, whereby they have the names, getting, of which we don't know what nilikwambia yesterday. It might be in a minimized transfers. That's the only thing that I can say, the possible things yenye names inaweza fanya, but inaweza tumika still ku apply HELB if they know what I mean. We have things to deal with KRA pin, but still to track KRA pin, the KRA department should also improve how they manage to track the pins. I get it. In terms of business, whereby now they should not consider death certificate or burial certificate. That is, I guess that is one of the section in a wrong command, whereby if you put death certificates, will be definitely given a band 1, whereby you are able to secure around 60,000 or 75, I don't know, the higher support. But if you have both parents, they don't care. They'll definitely give you band 4. Or maybe you come from a poor background where even when people are talking about digital life in Kenya, for you to have a phone like this one, it's like you have seen something you have never ever seen in life. Like, this thing can call my mother, this thing can assist me to trade. So you wonder, the command, what the criteria that they are using, the designer alikuwa tu after money, not after service. For me, I can say so. But I can also appreciate them because of one thing that they managed to conquer it very well. The e-citizen payment, I support it very well, because now that one gives an opportunity for clarity, transaction between the institution and the government. But also, now when it comes to the institution, the government system and the students, there's quite a lot that should be done. First of all, can they consider, because the mistake is not the system, the criteria that they are using, it is the problem. If they will think about how they can use names, achana na story ya barua ya chief, a computer ina time ya kusoma. So if chief, niende nichukue ile barua nimeandikiwa na chief, niliiba na kastamp, ni post. So if he may scan this, the system is something very funny. It does not understand the information within the letter, but it understands the codes within the letter. So if he may scan ikaona kuna barua ya chief, then definitely inaweza think like huyu mtoto ako needy, na mweka band 4. But that wasn't the point of the chief. So this system, they only need to think about how they can use NEMIS. For me, I don't need to tell you how you can use it. You have to think. Use NEMIS, and also how you can use the KRA pin, za wazazi. Because with the KRA pin, you are able to understand the kind of the jobs that are registered within the pin, and the kind of the jobs that the parents are doing. Then weigh it and try to compare with the information that the children have provided within the system, and definitely it will assist. Second thing is that they should also have a form, not a form that it must be filled by the principal, clear records from the office of the administration office from
the secondary school that you basically studied.
Good.
Okay.
Whereby a section whereby the principal should fill and give some remarks about your financial support during the institution. Are you able to pay this thing or not? So if not, that's are two things that can assist, because I don't think a principal can lie whereby you have passed. You know, the word passing is something that makes principal happy. So you'll be able to give clear information about this.
But it's never always guaranteed. Don't forget.
It is not always guaranteed, but it can assist. Rather than chief. The people who have stayed with the kid can assist very well. If not so, the conditions, the criteria, you know, the code. Nimekwambia hii system tukiweka sahi death certificates itatupea band 1. That's a sure bet. Hata tushike kitu kingine ama burial permits. Because ita confirm the burial, ita confirm the codes na confirm ione ako deceased. Then nikupe band when you need sana. Nikupe band 1. But sasa ukiwa na wazazi, unajua kuna wale those kids who have both parents, but if you compare with an orphan, inakuwa like orphan wako better 10 times than them. Because of the mazingira ya malezi, and they are needy. Even they should be treated as the orphans even if they have parents. And band 1 is more referred wapewe pia, at least to make bright things and to bring change in their society. That's what I can say with the system. Everything within this system is quite supportive. It's something that I do support. But when it comes to the criteria of placing these kids in the bands in terms of their needy, is there we draw lines. And I've told them we have names. What is the work of names? Hii kitu mzazi anasumbuliwa hata kuchukua birth certificates. What is the work of names? In fact, names should contain information about the kid. Whereby the first thing that after kids pass, the first thing the system to produce are the names of the kids who have managed to secure who have managed to apply the fund. You know, nowadays it's not all about C+. Is that have you applied for the fund in modern? So once you manage to apply, then the system produces your UPI number. Whereby now that becomes the human work, not the computer work. Human work to sit down, open the name is number, read your details, then place you on a band. Melewa, walioajiriwa kwa hii nini wanafungua details. So umeprocess, umeangalia umekuwa uko hivi, no chances of getting us any scholarship. So definitely ulisoma na shida, name is recorded. Ili from this year you learned, from this year you did this, your challenges on paying this thing. So if nitafungua hiyo computer nisome your details on names, as a person who have been given an opportunity to serve my nation under that knee, I will understand mahali unafaa kuwa, nitakuplace. So it can only take us 2 months to place that number, because per day I guess nikiwa nimeajiriwa hapo there's a place around, we do work from 8 a.m. to
4 or 5
4 or 5 somewhere there. So per hour I can manage to place around let's say 20 people. So per day I can manage to place 100 people. Because see, that's my work within that period. So if I place 100 people very well, na bila ukabila, unajua kuna ule mtu anaona huyu ni fulani, acha tumweke huko, ametoka Ukambani, acha tumweke huko, ametoka huko, acha tumweke huko. To consider bila mambo na ukabila. Unajua kitu yenye inamaliza Kenya kabisa ni ukabila. Ita work. The system will work. Na mimi sitaki system irudi tena next year 2025 ianze tena kufanya watu waumie, ianze kutukasirisha. Tuanze kuitwa ati the students kujeni kwa White House tuongee. We don't need to be convinced to accept this thing. This thing should be advanced. Achana na stories ati you know this thing. Sasa okay, now imefail, alituita kwa status, wenye walienda, we are all students. They presented us. Now what if he failed tena 2025? Atafanya nini? Ama sasa atatuambia tuende kwa ofisi ya HELB. Tukaongea na wao aliwapea kazi. Doesn't make sense. And this system is quite well. Hata for CBC inaweza fund CBC very well, because CBC kuna mambo na instruments, kuna mambo na ball, kuna mambo na this thing. If a parent is capable of buying these things and then the system assists the kids to pay any fees, then the system will work well. I will clap for it. Other than now I'm saying that HELB sounds better than HEF, then at that time HEF will be better 10 times than HELB. Because the criteria of putting the students in terms of their needy, it's already working well. It is manually done on the system, not the system to place you. The problem is that when system is created, people think that it's always correct. To understand, to come with agreement that the system will work for us, we need just to put the details. No, there are some criteria that needs to be given to the system so that it can give us an output, whereby we are going to consider that output and then using a command. I have a command option. For me, this kid qualifies for band 2. Sawa? Because of this and this and this and this and this. With fairness. Then I place command key, place him on the band 2.
Let me hold your point there and diverge this conversation on a different direction. There is a problem with their systems, as we can see from the HELB. There's been, different problems from different other sectors, like, passport, applications, releasing of ID students to new adults in Kenya, which brings me or begs me to ask the question, is it that Kenya we're using an outdated technological system that also needs to be an improvement in the IT sector, or is it that the system is being done intentionally to sabotage something, or rather to bring that sabotage aspect?
That's not the problem. The problem is when the system were structured, the government just employed the people who structured it to maintain it, but they didn't involve a third party to consider the failure of the system and the challenges. But you see, now that's is like, I want to show you something. When Ruto became the president, we have seen it's not all about improving systems. It is not all about considering the failures of the systems, but bringing new systems which are not tested, which are the public is not educated on them. Look what happened with SHA, the NHIF to SHA. It's something you just wake up in the morning and people are telling you register for SHA.
For SHA.
Look about HELB. Students just finished Form 4, then a press thing is aired we are going to have a new funding model. They don't prepare us. Even consider the way the identity cards with expiry, 10 years expiry. They are different from other identity cards, but no one talked about it. You see, we have things like Huduma numbers. You remember those things? Ilienda wapi? Watu walipangishwa line. That's why sometimes we as a generation tuna feel the pain, because we wonder. My mother forced me to go make a line to apply an Huduma number. Yet hata leo hata hiyo Huduma number sijaiendea, because for me it didn't make sense. Why did I need to apply it? Haikuwa na any conditions. You know, with identity card, I know it's something that proves that I'm a Kenyan. It's a part of things that, apart from birth, being a Kenyan by birth, is something that also confirms that I'm a Kenyan.
Yeah, Kenyan,
when it comes to things to deal with what? To deal with the passport, it must have that brand of a Kenyan. So a passport is another thing, apart from traveling with it, something that can showcase my identity in a way that I'm a Kenyan. By birth, or either by any other thing. Are you getting? So the problem with our system is like there is no third party within the systems. There is no that committee. There is no that idea. You know, I can say as a cabinet secretary, I need a system. Okay, let me say, as I'm in charge of KRA, I need a system that will be able to track every cargo that is brought in Kenya, and be able to track the exports and the imports. Are you getting? That's an idea that I need. And also, not only doing so, a system that also will be able to track the number of the things that have been imported and the number of things that have been exported, and keep records. So, a system that will be able, not only do so, that will be able to consider how this thing is going to be sold in Kenyan market, and the benefits that the expected. Let me say, not you know, when you're selling things, you don't sell common. Things vary according to it's like water kwa soko ni 20, kienda kwa first class 100, kienda kwa hoteli zingine 500, kienda kwa ndege inakuwa dhao ama juu, na ni maji tu. So kuna mali utaenda, let me use a car, kuna mali utaenda upate gari ni around 5 million, wende mali mengine the same car ni 2 million, the same car ni 10 million. But if this system, nataka system ioneshane KQ KCZ 111 stock K, whichever, imekuwa imported to Kenya. That is the registration number. Now this system ita work na watu wana sell hizi nini imeuzwa. Again, we don't need to tax this car ikiwa Kenya. Itauzwa, then I will get what? I will collect my tax. Rather than umeimport, leta hiyo pesa, enda ukauze mali yako, hatutaki kujua unauzaje. Ina discriminate even the marketing area. And sasa kama nataka system kama hiyo, sita hair hit, hata sita publish ati niangalie kama naweza pata people in Kenya. No, this is how these leaders speak, yani treat us citizens like we are not able to come with an idea to perfect things in our country. No, kama pesa inaenda kuprintiwa majuu. You wonder, kwani Kenya, are we not capable to print this thing? You wonder, like makaratasi ya kura. Ushasikia USA imekuja kuprintia makaratasi Kenya za kura?
Even so, somewhere online, the internet that we're using is coming from abroad. toothpicks are also coming from abroad. So
we
have a long way to go.
We have a long way to go.
Yeah, come to think of
SKMs.
systems, yeah.
Before we finish, there is something else I'd like to address about the challenges also the Ministry of Education is facing in terms of lack of teachers to offer services in the CBC curriculum. In the CBC curriculum, whereby they are facing the last week, but if I remember, wakati walikuwa wanapeana vitabu zile wali print, they said that they are experiencing challenges in terms of employing teachers. Internship wamebidi waandamane ndo waajiriwe. Hata waleo we don't have any confirmation letter that internships waliajiriwa. Now they are saying we have scarcity of teachers to teach this system, to teach children in this new system. You wonder why are they not prepared? And now this is what I'm nakwambia, they should plan things from top to bottom or bottom to top. But the best thing to plan this thing is from the top to bottom, so that they have the end products and also where they can begin the product, the process of producing the product. But if all they want is to process the product of something that they don't know the end products how it looks, definitely they will lose it. Because look now, for the next 2 years, and even the people within the new funding model, they are studying the whole way of teaching. University 4 years, then atanaambiwa sasa you will have again to pay for 1 year to do training ya ECBC. Yani tunaonekana tu tuko wajinga. 4 years unakaa unasoma mathematics in another way, then unaambiwa ati now because you have mathematics now you can go back to another institution, study 2 years. No kuna still loan ya HELB. Why can't they not sit down, decide to group this thing? 2 years, study this. 2 years, now try to become a teacher. 2 years within the same institution, let us change the units. Now try now to apply what you have studied to make sure that you fit for the market. Rather than you are finished, then go for training another year. It is wastage of money, wastage of time, and still will suffer. And that's why sasa utasikia now we need to sasa it's awkward. But this is not our wish. We are here praying for change every day because we need to create employments. We feel like we have part. We are the people who understand our roles in this country. We are the people who understand like there is a role that I must play. Apart from being a man in a certain career, there is abilities and there are things that I am not able to do. So for me in the market, I will not secure a job because it is offered to me. As a Gen Z, I cannot secure a job because it is offered for me. But I will consider my input in that job. And that's what will keep us going. That's what will keep us bringing change in this nation. Because I will not train to apply for teaching, yet I'm not a profession. But when it comes now to film, things to do with this, I'm there fully. So definitely, this is something that we should consider. And also continue understanding that we are the people to change the nation. And please, Ministry of Education, if it happens you watch this try to understand what we are trying to say. And try a little bit to bring changes within that system. Because I believe what I've said, if gotten by the people who build systems, softwares, can do great things, because that is just an idea that I've given. Mi ningefanya computer ningekuwa mwizi, at least ningekuwa nasumbua serikali, but sikutaka. So for me that's what I can say, unless you have another question.
No, just to thank the viewers. Thank you for the time. Thank you for joining us, everyone who's watching. And hopefully as we take 006, we get to do even better, and basically to expound more on the issues that are affecting our nation, and hopefully to give incentives, or also take the incentives also to the government or to any institution to basically change the system. So thank you everyone, thank you Uncle Gen Z, and we hope to see you next.